Hello, and welcome to Continuing the Conversation with Sadie, the podcast where we explore the heart of care through emotionally intelligent dialogue and sector shifting stories. I'm your host, Sadie Ravening, and I'm so glad you're here. Series 2 is all about the how we show up for one another, how we build culture through everyday interactions, and how our practices shape the space we live, work, and care within. This season is rooted in the real, the relational, and the practical. Today, I'm joined by someone who embodies this theme in a brilliantly human, funny, and grounded way. Justine, known online as the Honest Carer, is a home care advisor, therapist, and content creator whose unfiltered humour and truth telling have built a community of more than 21,000 followers. Her reels and commentary cut through the noise of the care sector, not with cynicism, but with clarity, compassion, and a deep understanding of what real care looks like behind the scenes. Her journey into care has not been linear. She's worked her way up through the sector, earned her qualifications, stepped away, retrained in her holistic health and beauty, and now blends both worlds as a part-time carer and therapist. She's also a mum to three, including a 25-year-old autistic son, and somehow still finds time for Reiki, meditation, and telling the truth about care in a way that makes people feel seen. What makes her perspective so valuable isn't just her experience, it's the way she brings humour, honesty, and humanity into every interaction. She shows us the real culture of care, the messy bits, the meaningful bits, and the moments that remind us why this work matters. In today's conversation, we'll explore the how behind her approach, how she uses humour to tell the truth, how she navigates the emotional landscape of care work, how she balances family life, boundaries, and burnout, and how she brings authenticity into a sector that often hides behind euphemisms. Justine, welcome to Continuing the Conversation. I'm really, really glad you're here, and let's get started. Wow. Wow, this is amazing. I am absolutely delighted to have you here. And if any of my listeners understand this, you are truly amazing. What you've done for the industry is incredible. Oh, wow. We're going to start with foundations and the real story. So, we're looking at how we become who we are. So, I always start with how we all got started. So you've had such a varied journey, different jobs, working your way up in care, retraining, coming back on your own terms, which I love. That is brilliant. When you look back, what shaped the foundations of how you work today?
Well, quite a lot, really, I think. I became a mum when I was 21. So,
Wow.
and then I had another child at 22. So, um, I guess I've been caring for a long time. And in that,
Excellent.
I wasn't really qualified to do anything in life other than work in call centers or whatever. So, you end up doing lots of different jobs to fit round kids.
Yes.
And um, I've always been someone that likes a new venture. I always look and go, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start that. And I've always been someone who thinks nothing's impossible. So somehow along the line, after my third child, many years later, um,
Yeah.
I I was looking for a job to fit around her when she was little, and thought, oh, care work. right? And this is
Yes.
as basic in my mind as it was. Okay, I was brought up pretty much by my nan. And my nan, I
Wow.
mean, I say that I lived with parents, but my nan was a big part of my life. She lived 3 doors down the road. My nan
Yeah.
had 8 sisters who all lived round us. So I was pretty much around little. They weren't little old ladies. They were quite feisty. Um, that generation of people, and I guess I was brought up at a time where, you had a lot of respect for elderly people.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Totally understand that.
And I thought, well, if they're like my nan, I can do this. That's that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Um,
That's really interesting to learn that.
and
That's really
yeah,
important.
so that's what I did, and I applied for this job. I was looking at doing evening work because that's what I could do at the time, and that's where I started, and it was the biggest shock.
Yes. I totally understand that.
I think that first
Yeah.
week, I didn't really sleep at night because it was really quite overwhelming of the
Yeah.
enormity. This was not about uh hanging out with some elderly people. This was way more than
Yes.
that. Um
Yes. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's really, really important that we start to understand you not just as the honest carer giving us all a laugh on Instagram, but the real, the Justine. And yeah, I totally relate to that because I know that I had a really good relationship with my grandma, and I completely understand where you're coming from. You do. It definitely helped me with my love of the elderly, and I know exactly what you mean when you work for somebody else, and it's a shock, like you said, it's a shock. You're raising 3 children, including your eldest, who is autistic. How has that shaped your worldview and your patience levels?
I would just like to say I'm not always patient with my children. I've had some rough times there.
Yes, I
Jokes
understand that.
aside,
Yeah,
navigating the system
is
to
hell.
to get help, to get services for your own child
Mm,
is and if you've been through that, you'll know exactly what I mean. It breaks you in so many ways. And as a mum, it's heartbreaking. But just the everyday stuff is difficult, right? Being a parent is the hardest job in the world. And it doesn't stop when they
no,
become 16. It really
no, just
doesn't.
no.
Um, it's, I look back now and I think about my own parents and I think, yeah, God, actually, that was hard. That must have been hard,
Yeah,
you know? And but it has taught me those challenges has taught me that you have to be very resilient in life. You
yes.
you have to
We
have a
talk
bit
a lot
of
about resilience.
yeah.
Yes.
You have to be a bit of a fighter. And
Oh, you're definitely a fighter. You're a fighter for all of us.
well, yeah, but
I
it's
love that.
like I can remember
Talk about
coming.
strong.
Well, sometimes I am, sometimes not so much. But I can remember coming into care and working in a care office and the battles you would have with councils, the battles you would have with social services. And I remember thinking,
Yes.
yeah, I've been here before, if in a different
Yeah.
capacity.
Yeah.
And,
It's
someone
the
once,
constant firefighting, isn't it?
yeah, someone once said I was
It's
quite rude. And I
tedious.
was like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to put my point across here because you do get beaten down quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Which is what they want.
Oh, not
Just what.
everyone. Let's just caveat that. When I say
Mm.
things, I'm not referring to every single. Yeah.
How has that shaped your worldview? So if we go a bit bigger than, your immediate family, and you think about everything you've been through.
That that life is very precious, and for some people, life can be a lot easier than others. There is no, I don't know, there's no rhyme or reasoning sometimes. And
It makes you understand the illogical, doesn't it? The
yeah,
chaos.
and I think, look, some of us seem to go through a lot more than others. And you see that all the time in care. And life is unfair. Life is very unfair.
Yes, that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that with us. For people trying to build strong foundations in their own lives, what practices or mindsets make the biggest difference, especially on the days when life feels like a juggling act with one ball on fire? Let's
Does
go there.
daily, feels like that daily. You have to find time for you. And I know a lot of people will say that's impossible. It's not impossible. You have to. You have to put yourself first. In everything that you do, because if you are the primary carer of your family, if you are the primary carer out in the community or in a care home for people, you just can't continue a cycle of caring for others and not putting anything back in.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
So what do you do as Justine to sort of wind down after a busy day?
Well, I watch Netflix a lot.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I love actually doing? This is a bit weird. I will watch like series that I've watched, like Game of Thrones. I've watched it like 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the
Just to switch
familiarity.
off.
Yeah.
Escape.
Yeah. And I basically eat chocolate, and I do go to the gym. I don't enjoy it, but I do drag myself
You
at
get yourself
least
there. Yeah. You
3
look
times
after
a week.
yourself.
Yeah, I do.
You
I
know the
do.
importance of growing old gracefully.
And then, well, that's a whole other podcast.
Oh, yes, it is.
You know,
But as a
now
carer, we definitely
everything's going a
understand
bit,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And when you say about chocolate, that just brings me back to one of your Instagram reels about a carer on their day off. And I was roaring with that
Honestly,
big bar of
I.
chocolate. You've got to see it. It's so funny. So
It's
real.
true though. We all
It's 100% true.
find
But
me a
that just
carer that
takes.
doesn't like chocolate now.
Oh, no, 100%. Well, brilliant. That leads us straight into the next question, which is you're known for being honest online. And you are. Where did that honesty come from? Was it always there, or did the care sector just bring it all out of you?
I've always been like that. I am known amongst my friends and family to be quite blunt. Sometimes
Okay.
not in a good way. But I
For our
will.
industry, it's amazing.
But what I
So
will
thank you.
say is, having worked with a lot of different people, it does bring that out in you.
It does.
It did
Yeah.
for me.
I can see it would.
It I'm not. Listen, you have to have a different approach to everyone, right? You can't just go in and. But some people appreciate your honesty. Some people just I like to know where I stand with people.
100%. I
I
do as well.
I would rather you just tell me how it is, even if that was bad, than but another thing just really quickly is that my dad was not great at that. And I struggled with that. To the point I think I always just wanted to be the opposite of that.
Right. Brilliant. Yeah, I think a lot of people will relate to that. And I think growing up, we have different relationships with our father and our mother, don't we? So that shapes who we are as well.
Yeah, of course.
But I think I'm definitely somebody who likes to know where they stand. But you're right, as a carer, you have to go into lots of different people's homes and in domiciliary anyway, or in a care home, see lots of different people. And you have to adapt to their way of thinking, and that's a skill in itself. And it's not always easy, is it?
No, it's not. It's an actual skill set. You can't teach it, but
It
it's
is. This is what I keep saying. It's a skill. People don't realize they're skilled. because we're professionals, and that's the other part of me that I try and support people with, is making them realize what skills they have and what they bring. They don't realize because they're not as valued as they should be. We're going to go on to emotional intelligence, humor, and human connection. We're going to think about how we connect, which follows on from what we were just talking about. Your content blends humor with truth in a way that really resonates. How does humor help you connect with people, both online and in real life, especially when the reality of care isn't always funny? And I don't know why I'm laughing, because I just think you're brilliant at doing this. You're absolutely brilliant. This is why we love you.
Look, let's be honest. Care can be very dark, right? It can be very dark. We can see a lot of sadness, and some of the situations we're in, there is a funny side to it if you've got that kind of sense of humor.
Yeah.
And there are times when I've walked away thinking, "Don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh."
Yeah.
But I do think humor can really get you through some dark times, and
100%. I wouldn't be
particularly
here now if it wasn't for humor.
this is it.
100%.
You know, and I can remember working with some great carers, and we
Mm.
would that's what would get me through my days. Because we would have a laugh, not at people's expense. It's just
No.
the situations you're in where, I don't know, it's one of them, if you know situations, right? You could be in a near-death experience with someone,
Yeah.
and at the end you're like, well, that was fun.
Yeah. But it wasn't at the time.
It wasn't at the time, or when you've got someone up in a hoist and
So
they're
true.
stuck there because the hoist is broken. Well, no, that's not that funny, but
Yeah.
afterwards you're like, wow, that was
Oh my
wild.
God.
Um,
Yeah, that's wild.
yeah, like
That is so true.
I do think humor is very important in care, and I think
It is.
carers get
And
it.
it's, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
important for the client. It's
Oh
social
God,
care.
of course. So
That's the
many
other thing.
people love to have a laugh with you, and
Mm.
they're the best.
Yeah.
Um,
They're the ones that you're aligned with. They're the ones that you can do the most with because you can get through to them. It's connection.
yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah.
100%. Yeah, no, that's brilliant. I love that. Can you share a moment where emotional intelligence helped you understand a client's needs or helped you avoid saying the thing you really wanted to say?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when I say everyone likes to have, not everyone likes to have a laugh. And I did something about this the other week about talking about how, look, I'm a natural. I want to fix everything.
Mm,
Um,
I
and
know what you mean. I think we're all
sometimes,
in it to help.
yeah, sometimes people, for whatever reason, they've got a hard time. They're having a hard time. They're having a hard life, and life is not great for them, to be fair. And I can remember once one lady, she was renowned to be quite difficult, and I said something one day, she bit my head off, and it really affected me because I thought, right, how can I try and connect with this person in a way that I can help her, but it's not too much, and she will be able to respond. So I kind of stood back a bit. I was sort of quite matter of fact, but
Mm,
friendly, and it took a lot of time. But eventually, we did develop a sort of relationship where she would talk to me a little bit more. Like, we were never going to be
mm.
best friends, but
Yeah, but you were trying to be the best you could for her.
yeah, it was realizing that you really do have to adapt to different people if you want to get some kind of make life better for them in some way, because not
Yes.
everyone is open and ready to share their lives with you, and it's sad, but I always think back now, and I think, what, I really thought about that situation. I did my best, and I think she deep down appreciate that.
Yeah. She could see that you were enough because you were trying your best. Yeah. That's really important. And also, I think, I mean, I'm not employed anymore. I've got my own business, so it's completely different for me. So when I have a client, I can decide whether it's aligned or not, and um, I've got a fantastic job. I wouldn't change it for the world. But when I worked for somebody else, you just didn't get a choice. It was so and so's off sick today. You have to go in. And I think you do get to a point in your career where, although I call it a vocation actually, where you do have to accept you are not going to be liked by everyone. You're not going to help everyone. And you explain that brilliantly in your Instagram post reel about some people just want you to listen and not fix things. That was absolutely brilliant. You're so on point. What does emotionally intelligent communication look like in your home? So a bit more about you. And do your kids ever say, Mum, please don't put that on Instagram? I know mine would. They go nuts. I've got teenagers.
Um, well, yeah, no. I mean, as long as I'm not putting pictures of them on there, they're pretty much okay. I mean, with my daughter, she's very much like has to sign any pictures off. I mean, I put stuff on my
Mm,
personal, like I obviously have a personal social media. She's like, well,
you
maybe not
do.
that one.
Yes.
But
They'd go mad, wouldn't they?
yeah, um, but no, like,
Teenagers.
yeah, it's tricky. But no, mostly they like what I'm doing. I
I bet they
think
do.
they're
I bet
very.
you're such a cool mum
I'm,
in your house.
I don't think I
My
am.
kids would love
I
you.
don't think
They'd be
I
like,
am.
can't you be like
I
her?
no, I don't think I am. I think they would tell you a very different. I think their therapist might tell you a very different story. Um, Look, I try. I always wanted to have open lines of communication at home, and
Yeah, I
I
can
I
see that.
I think we do that in
That's healthy.
in our home. Um, Sometimes maybe too much. I don't know. The conversations I have with my 23-year-old son. Sometimes I'm like, "Ooh, did I want to know that?" Um, but you know, I don't think they mind too much what I put on there. I mean, I think if I went on there in a low cut top, they might be like, "Mum, enough,
Mum.
enough." I'm very conscious of that because I'm also conscious that their friends, that their friends will see it because I get their friends coming up now, like you might like, and I'm like, oh god. Um, so no, I just think that's just the way I am. Like, let's try and be open and honest, and
Yeah,
we've all
but
grown up.
you're a mum first, so I can see you're careful about it. You don't want the
Yes.
grief. I
No,
wouldn't.
and I wouldn't want to do anything to like hugely embarrass them. I mean, I think they think I'm daft, but
Oh, we all are. We're all daft. Don't worry about that.
especially
Especially
if I
with teenagers.
dance.
They
If I dance, they're like, "Why are you
Oh,
doing
I
that?
love your dancing.
Don't
Oh, you
dance." I'm like, or if I do an accent, they're like, "You're really bad at that," and I'm like, "Sorry,
oh, I absolutely
I am really bad at that."
Oh, I absolutely love that. That is brilliant. Definitely check out the Honest Carer Instagram bit where
Dancing.
you're dancing in the kitchen. Oh, love it.
That
Absolutely love
that
it.
was
You are
exhausting,
brilliant.
actually, Sadie. I'm not gonna lie. That was I had to lie down after that.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, we're going to go on to section 3 now, which is serious about burnout, boundaries, and real life resilience, because we've all been there. But I couldn't think of anyone I'd want to ask more this question because you're so honest. You speak openly about burnout and the realities of care work. What does resilience look like for you, especially on the days when you're running on coffee and sheer willpower?
Oh, look, when you're in the thick of care, I think a lot of carers don't actually think they are being resilient.
No,
If
they
you're
don't.
if you're getting
It's a
up,
skill.
yeah, if you're getting up, you're showing up, and
100%.
you're going to all these
Yeah, they
care
don't see
calls,
it.
that's resilience.
100%. Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's
It
coming out
is.
of a care call where someone's end of life, and then going into someone who's full of life. That's resilience.
Mm.
People don't see that as that.
That is a really important point you've brought up there.
You know, I think I can only speak for ones I know. I've seen care workers be incredibly resilient. I've seen care workers be verbally abused, physically abused, and then they get up and they go again.
Yes.
So how is that not being resilient? You know?
Do you know what? That is an amazing answer coming from the honest carer, everybody. Just don't forget those words. I won't. That was brilliant. Can you share a moment when your resilience was tested to you personally? Maybe around juggling family life, work, or navigating a system that seems designed to test everyone's patience. Can you give us a moment? Share it with us?
I think it comes very testing when you are working a lot of hours, and quite often more hours than you're scheduled to work.
Yeah.
And you could be working 10 days straight without a break. You don't see your kids, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you don't eat properly. And that's the reality sometimes of care work.
It is. It is the reality, and I would be surprised to find a carer who hasn't signed a form to say they'll work extra hours.
I mean, so, it's, look, we know it's a system that is inconsistent like that. Sometimes you could have not very little hours, and we have a high turnover of staff. We have a
Yeah,
high sickness in staff, and there's a very good reason for that.
there
You're
is.
going to get people be sick if you're overloading them on this work all the time. They're going to be sick.
I'm messing them around. And we like to know where we stand, don't we?
Exactly. So I think so. I don't know if that actually answered your question. I am a bit of a waffler.
No, it was great. I just wondered if you could share a moment that you experienced, but it was a fantastic answer because you're absolutely right. It's the hours. But
Oh,
is there
it is, and it's the crying in your car, right?
yes.
It's that doing that last call when you've done 30 calls. It's sat in your car just almost having a little cry, but then almost staring into space and going home and not wanting to talk to anyone. And everyone's excited to see you because they haven't seen you, but you have nothing to give.
Yeah.
And you're just
Yeah.
sat
And
there
that's your
like,
moment. Yeah.
and
No, that's brilliant. And it's so true. It's so real. Anyone who's a care worker, I like to call us personal assistants personally, um,
there's lots of different words. I
who's
get
doing
told
it
off all
right
the
now,
time.
who has done it, I think they will relate to that. I know I can. And you are just exceptional people. Keep doing what you're doing, but
100%.
look after yourself, I think is the
100%.
message there. The care sector often expects carers to be endlessly giving, which is something else you've just said brilliantly. How do you protect your boundaries without feeling guilty? Or do you still feel guilty and do it anyway?
I will always feel guilty.
Mm,
I,
I knew
I,
you'd say
I,
that.
I think I will. But look, I think people, I've talked about boundaries a lot. People think boundaries are this negative thing.
No, no, no,
People
no.
don't like this word when I bring it up. They think it's cold, it's uncaring, um, and some people will admit and go, yeah, I put my boundaries up. Look, uh, from someone who didn't understand what a boundary was,
Yeah.
I learned
And
the
this,
hard way.
and I did. I call it the University of Life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Boundaries are essential and not just for your mental health and well-being, but for everybody around you.
100%. Like it's so important. Like to you don't need to be the yes person all the time. You don't need to be running around
No.
on your days off buying shopping for Mrs. Jones. Like, it's not necessary. Like work things out. Yes. Talk to your management. Yes. Talk to your colleagues. Yes. Work something out between you if Mrs. Jones literally has no family
Yeah.
members.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
you don't have to take it.
Communication.
Yeah, you don't have to take it all on yourself. That's not what you're here for.
I would also say, if you are struggling with the word boundaries and you see it as a negative thing, listen to series 1 of this podcast, because we delve into all of this boundaries, and it's coming from experts, coming from people who've been in the industry at whatever level, that have experience and knowledge and skills to really educate us all on what boundaries are. And even they're saying we need boundaries. They need them, we need them. So really go back to that if you see it as a negative thing, because it will change the way you think about the word boundaries. And you're absolutely right. I just wanted to know as well, what do you think is missing from the wider conversation about resilience for carers and families, especially the bits we don't post online? This is your bit now.
That's quite a hard question, actually. What do I think is missing? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer it. Can you sort of break it down for me? Like, give me
Okay,
an
so
example.
yeah, sure. So when I say what do you think is missing from the wider conversation about resilience for carers, we're talking about the bigger picture of care. So not just the everyday work, we're talking about the landscape, the fact that we are an ever-growing population, we're living longer, families are feeling more strain, and on what that puts on carers and families. So what do you think is missing that's not been, you know, put online?
Well, we've got a big problem.
Correct.
We
Yeah.
have a huge problem. Um, where do we? This could be a very long conversation. We've got a big problem financially. There's a big problem here.
Yeah.
The demand in care is growing by the day.
That's it.
Um,
Yeah. The demand.
it's the demand is huge, and I think people, unless you've been involved in it, won't see it. I mean, look at hospital discharge teams,
Mm-hmm.
uh, look at the home from hospital teams, and then
Yes.
people are saying, why are they not getting adequate care? Because there is no time. There is no time. There is not enough money invested into the system. And if you've a family that's been involved in it, you will know. If you're a carer
Mm.
that's been involved in it, you will know it's not good enough. It's
No.
inadequate. Um, I get messages, not all the time, but sometimes, people telling me things have gone wrong. And when I say they've gone wrong, well, they've gone very wrong. And
Yes.
um, it's it's not the carer's fault. The system
No.
that they're working in is failing. But unfortunately, the carer will take the brunt of it. I feel so passionate about this that
Yeah, I do as well.
and people will say, yes, but there's bad carers. Yes, it's not for everyone. Not everyone. Okay, we get that.
Mm.
But let's look at the bigger picture,
Yes.
because there's a much
Yeah,
bigger picture here.
there is. There is. And we are going to touch on this in series 4 as well, because I've got some people coming back and
Good,
we are going to smash this,
good.
because I'm already seeing what's going horribly wrong.
Yeah. The training.
And
The
yes,
training, Sadie.
training, 100%. I have brought this up in the past, and I'm not going to say who, but I almost got sacked for it. I was telling the truth, which is the reality of our vocation. I'm going to say vocation because I believe this is who we are. You know, you don't wake up and go, I want to be a carer. I think it chooses us, to
It's
be
very
perfectly
true.
honest with you.
The universe works in mysterious ways.
Yes, yeah, and I'm here with you today, so that is another sign of that. Because yeah, you are so on point, and we are really getting to know the real you, as well as the funny side, which is also the real you, but the other you. Um, and I personally have found up to this point that there is a big problem with collaboration, because I'm private, and so trying to join that up with the local council doesn't happen.
No,
They don't want to know.
no.
Everybody's holding on to their little money pot, and I just don't know how to make that happen. I'll be honest. I've tried. I know how to join communities, but bigger picture, it's very difficult. And I think if everything was unpicked from the top downwards,
Yeah.
if we had access to where the money was going, we would get to the real heart of it all. But we're never going to know that.
It's a much bigger problem than I find it sometimes when I think about it too much. I find it quite overwhelming.
Yes, it is. It is.
And at the end of the day, the people who are receiving the care and people who are giving the care are suffering, and the families of people receiving care are often suffering.
Yeah, it's very true. And thank God we have you providing so much humour so we get through the overwhelming bits as well. But we do need to touch on it because it is important. We're going to go on to, again, leading very nicely into culture, practice, and everyday truth telling. This is where we look at how we create culture through everyday interactions. So, again, very important. Your content, brilliantly funny as well, often highlights the small everyday behaviours that make or break good care. I would say excellent care, actually. What are the interactions that matter most, the ones that don't make it into the training manuals?
Oh, this makes me quite emotional, actually. It's quite
Go for it.
no, but it is you can make some incredible relationships in care, and sometimes people will tell you things that they don't talk to anyone else about.
That's correct.
And I've had conversations with people who have been at the end of their lives and they want to talk about the world. They want to talk about their lives. And they don't necessarily, it's not because they don't like their families, but it's easier to talk to someone they're not as close to.
Correct.
And, I talk about boundaries, or we've just talked about boundaries, but no one could teach you in a training room or online how these people will touch your lives and how, for me, have changed my life, the conversations I've had, and I've taken away things that only I know how it's affected me. And they don't teach you that in training.
No, I totally understand that. And thank you for sharing that. And it's very real, very real. You talk a lot about continuity, especially for people with dementia. From your experience, what does continuity actually change beyond avoiding the who are you again moment? I totally agree with you on this about continuity. It's essential.
It is. Look, I flip this around. This is what I always say, right? You're in your home. You need care, right? You're sick or you have a disability, so you become quite vulnerable.
Yeah, you do.
You then got people coming in and out your house to be in your home where you keep your all your things that you keep safe, that come in and potentially see you in your most vulnerable state with personal care. That takes a lot for someone. I don't think I've ever seen someone go, oh yeah, brilliant, lovely. No, most people are quite suspicious of you at first.
Oh yeah. And you would expect them to be.
This is it. I mean, why would they not be? So when we have continually, I'm not saying it has to be one person because that's not always possible, but the regular carers coming in and out who they could get to know, trust you, it's going to be a much better experience when you've got, I don't know who's coming in and out. That's going to make them feel so scared.
And also dementia is fear-based. Their fear levels are much higher than someone without dementia.
The anxiety.
If you don't consider that, you're going to go wrong.
And
you've got to meet them where they're at.
100%. And people will say things like, well, they don't recognise. Hang on a minute. How do we know? Why are we so quick to assume that people with dementia don't know what's going on? Right.
Exactly.
How do you know they don't recognize? They might not always verbalize that they recognize you. They might say something like, "Who are you?"
You're
But
very right there.
what do you
And
have?
that's it actually in the legislation, isn't it, about dementia? You
How do you?
can't assume they don't know.
How can we assume? Like, also, how do we know they don't recognize a facial expression? They don't recognize your smell. They don't recognize the feel of your touch. How do we know that? We don't.
We don't. And I can also say because I've been in the industry over 22 years and dementia, everybody's experienced dementia in our industry. If you do end of life care as well, I'm absolutely certain that we don't know, because sometimes when it comes to end of life, things will suddenly come out of someone with dementia that they haven't spoke about for years, and they'll have this moment of clarity, and you're like, oh my God, they remember so. They've got a long-term memory, but it just backs up everything you're saying. You don't know what they know. But continuity is the absolute foundation to caring for individuals with dementia. And even the families know that. I think the agencies know that. And
They
if they
know it.
try and create small teams, that's good. I think the councils don't always care, because they could see someone get better and just whip the care package away, you know. And that needs to be really looked at. And God help anybody who's supporting someone with dementia right now. My hat goes off to you, and just keep doing what you're doing, and just keep advocating for your loved one. Why do you bring authenticity, the real unfiltered version of care, into your work as a home care advisor and therapist without getting yourself into trouble?
Um, well, if you mean, do I tell people what I do? Yeah, I do now. I do tell people that I have an
Mm,
online presence, uh, and they can choose whether I care for them or not.
yeah.
Um, I mean, you know, I have that a lot. People think, oh, "There's no way you could be doing that," and it's like, no, I don't think an agency is going to employ me whilst I'm sat online saying X, Y, and Z. That is a fact. I accept that. Um, and so far, I don't really talk about it in my other work. If someone was to say,
Mm,
"Oh, I've seen you online," I'd be like, "Okay, hello."
mm.
Um, I try and separate all the things that I do in my life
Yeah.
because I am juggling a lot of different
Yes, you are.
balls. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I try and keep them separate from each other. Uh, I don't know if that's something I'll always be able to do, and I
Mm,
don't know what the future holds. Right? That's how I live my life. I don't worry too
yeah.
much.
Yes.
Um, and if I was, you can tell that I don't worry too much by some of the things that I say. Um, but
But that's why we love you,
yeah,
because you
I
are yourself. That's
yeah,
what people want. They want authenticity. We've had enough of celebrities and all these people pretending to be something they're not. We've all had enough of it. This is what we're here for today. It's what is really going on? Who are we really? What are we doing? So that's brilliant. It is. Looking ahead, what changes would you love to see in the culture of care? Not the policies, but the practice, especially the things you wish people would just stop pretending about.
I don't. God, I don't know. Look, I wish that everybody had more time. I
Mm,
wish that
that's a
big.
great answer.
I wish big organisations would stop pretending that they don't make any money. I
Good
wish.
answer.
I
Good
wish.
answer. This is what we're here for. We
You
love
know,
this. We love
I
what you do.
it drives me wild. Uh, it's if I ever get a lot of criticism, it will come from care management because
Hmm.
they don't want me to say the real world and how it is. But Um,
The truth hurts.
the truth does hurt, doesn't it? It does hurt. But like, I only talk from my experience. I certainly don't say all organisations are terrible. Don't ever.
No, you don't.
Look,
You're very professional like that.
they're not. There are some great care teams out there trying to make a difference, battling the odds. Let's be honest.
They are. They are.
But yeah, ultimately, I just wish for people to have more time and more care and get the help that they deserve. Really, that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see carers feel more worthy. I'd like to see them feel fully equipped when they go out into care, not rushed in and told to get on with it. I don't know if that verges on politics a little bit, but I don't know.
It's a difficult question because it's not just about the client, it's also about the carer and the organisation and the system. But when you say more time, I think that would change the whole landscape because decisions wouldn't be rushed. The right people would be brought in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in this place now where, I do not do, for example, wash calls that take any less than an hour. An hour is the minimum time. Nothing's rushed. My clients feel valued because they're not rushed. I've also got a podcast where in one of the episodes, I talk to an educator, well-standing, well-respected educator, and he emphasizes a lot on the disadvantages of rushing. It causes accidents. Carers end up with speeding fines. Let's be honest. It just doesn't work for anybody at any level. So your first answer with time was brilliant, and it just would up the quality. And also, carers wouldn't have to pretend they're happy to their bosses when they're not. You just explain that absolutely brilliantly and so honestly. And that's what we're looking for. We're going to move on, and I'm going to try and be a little bit less serious for you because you're just so funny, and we've really explored who you are, what you're about, what you're doing. So thank you for sharing so much with me today. I just want to do a quick fire round. Just say the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I think so. Go on.
Right. Okay. Here we go. First one. Funniest thing a client has ever said to you?
Oh yeah. So I used to wear Paynton DMs. Just right, and he goes, "Oh, every time I left, he went, are you going stripping after?"
Oh.
I was like, at my age, do you think anyone wants to see that? That was the banter, but it used to make me laugh.
Brilliant. I love that. Okay, next one. One thing you wish every new carer knew. Just say it.
Oh God, I don't know. I was like, one thing I wish every carer knew. Yes, it probably is worse than you think.
Brilliant. Your go-to self-care ritual.
Oh, fake tan.
Brilliant.
Fake tan and a Diet
straight
Coke.
away, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not sponsored by Diet Coke.
No, me neither, but I'll take it if it's on offer.
I know it's very popular in my household as well. A certain brand.
Yeah.
A care myth you want to destroy. Love this one.
That all carers are thick.
Love it. Oh, brilliant answer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I loved you when I started this conversation. I love you even more now. That's brilliant. A phrase you never want to hear in care again.
Phrase I never want to hear in care again. I don't know if it's a phrase, but it's more, can you do overtime? Not phrase. Or I don't know, the hoist isn't working. Or or the bed's not working. normally something to do with it's not
Oh,
working. It's not working.
yes. Yeah. And it's our problem
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. One thing your followers would be surprised to learn about you. Give us an exclusive.
I've got quite a few actually. I got an F in my GCSE drama. Yeah.
Now, was that because something went wrong in the final exam?
No,
Or was it?
I just didn't really like going to school. I don't even know if I even turned. I don't actually know if I even turned up for it. I don't know what they gave me the F for. Yeah. Oh, I once auditioned for Pop Idol. There you go.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Didn't get very
I
far.
love that.
Didn't get very far.
Pop Idol. Oh my God. Anything else? One more? That's brilliant.
Oh, I don't know how
I love
hard. I don't
these.
know how hard to hit really. Um,
Go on, go for it.
I
We're
don't
here with the honest
know.
carer. This is what we're here for.
I met George Michael when I was 11.
No way. Not in the
Yeah.
toilets.
Not in the toilets. I don't think I was his type.
Had to add that.
Weirdly. No. No. No.
Sorry, this is about humour and quickfire.
Yeah.
So
I don't
had
know
to
where we're
do that.
going with this. No.
No, it's just to learn about you. I just
Yeah.
love your answers. I could just listen to this all day. I think it's brilliant. And finally, what's your secret superpower as the honest carer?
I'm really good at poached eggs.
When am I coming round? Love poached egg on toast.
There you go. Seems to be the most difficult thing to do in care, so I've got it.
I think I've probably made more poached eggs for my clients than my whole family.
Poached egg, omelette, scrambled. I mean, it's all about the egg. It's all about the egg. So yeah.
It's just brilliant. No, brilliant. I love that. Is there anything else you would like to add to this conversation before we wind it up? Round it up.
Yes.
Is
Look,
there anything you'd like to say?
don't take life too seriously. We're only here once, apparently. So don't take life too seriously, guys. Like, just live your lives. If I've learned anything in care is, we're not here long, and it is precious, and that's what I've taken from so many people that I've cared for who, are now in situations where they can't live their lives the way they want, is to go out and live it.
So right. That is brilliant. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I've just gone all emotional again.
Oh,
So
it's
you
quite
really,
emotional talking about care, isn't it? Like I could,
it is so true.
you know.
So true. You are absolutely bang on point again. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for joining us for this episode of Continuing the Conversation with Sadie, where we explore the heart of care through emotionally intelligent dialogue and sector shifting stories. Today's conversation with Justine has shown us that the how matters, not just what we do, but how we do it. Through her reflections on honesty, humour, boundaries, and the real culture of care, she reminds us that practice is built through everyday interactions, the tone we use, the truth we tell, the presence we bring, and the courage to say what needs to be said. Her story invites us to rethink what honesty looks like, what support looks like, and how we can create environments where people feel seen, valued, and understood. If today's episode has resonated with you, I invite you to carry these insights into your own practice, whether that's in your work, your relationships, or your community. Every interaction is an opportunity to build a culture of dignity, belonging, and truth. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and keep reflecting, keep growing, and keep caring, and keep laughing. Thank you.